Welcome to Presente, a space and community that vibes on being in the moment, something we are relearning how to do in a fast moving world.
We are excited to be part of a growing movement that talks about topics that we feel haven't been talked about in our Latin culture and womanhood.
Be present with us. Take a pause and break down societal norms.
Redefine the meaning of existing. Welcome to Presente, the podcast.
Summer in your favorite city, New York. Hey everyone, and welcome to our final episode before we take a little summer break. That's right, you know it, and it's only right. We take the summer to be present, relax, and reap all of the summer days. So, we just want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in, supporting us here on Presente, and being part of this amazing journey. We're only halfway through the year, and it's been a joy sharing stories, insights, and inspiration with you. As we head into summer, we're wishing you a season filled with fun, safety, and presence. Soak up the sun, make memories, and don't forget to take care of yourself and each other.
Summer será bonito. Summer hits us all differently because it's a time most of us revisit the days of our childhood by bringing out our inner child. It is a season of play, experiencing our growth in softer ways, and more importantly, a return to you, almost like coming home, to connect back to mind, body, and soul. Here on Presente, we wish for your summer to be harmonious and magical.
Hi, I'm Marlene, the creator of New York City Guy, and today with the PRESENTE podcast.
To help you all kick off the season right, we're wrapping things up with a special guest. Your ultimate New York City guide is here to share the latest happenings, hidden gems, and tips for making the most of summer in the city that never sleeps. New York, stand up. Marlene, everyone, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I know you have such a busy schedule all over New York City, giving us all the deets and insights of what's happening in the city. So to have you here on the show, it means a lot to us and our listeners. I'm sure they're going to save this episode and refer back to it because we want to know what's happening this summer. Little backstory. I was actually fortunate to meet Marlene last year at a women's business function. So I'm so happy that we were able to connect and know your involvements in the community because many people, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a safe place that we can vibe with. And I'm so glad I was able to connect with you and have you here on Presente.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much. I love collaborating and I love the energy.
I know, right? I don't know how you have all the energy because you do so much here in the city that never sleeps. Because you do so much, I was wondering, what is your personal connection to New York and what inspired you to become a New York City guide, sharing the city through your lens?
I'm originally from Dominican Republic, but I was raised in New York. So, since I got here, I was brought here very young. So my family and I kind of migrated from Dominican Republic since I was a little girl. We were always excited to venture into this whole new life and this whole new city. So for us, it was always like an adventure in a sense. So on top of that, we were raised in the Upper West Side. So we had Central Park, we had all the museums. And my dad had he made a kind of a mission to get us excited, to take us around. We were young and we loved the action. We loved going to the seaport in the summer. We loved going to the museums, and just exploring was just part of our nature, as a family. So that was our, part of our bonding was going out and doing things in New York. So it's always been dear to me. We're still here and loving it every single day.
Same. I can definitely relate to that in everything you said. Born in the Dominican Republic, raised in New York City, a lot of staycations growing up and just finding things to do ultimately until I became older and was doing my own traveling.
Yeah.
So that's things switched up a little bit there. Definitely relatable. And I know a lot of our listeners, especially our Latino community, can attest to that too.
So as far as like the connection, how I created the New York City guide, like you said, like once you get older, you start exploring other cities. I was traveling a lot, but it came to a point that I was like, okay, I'm gonna settle in New York, but I gotta figure this out. And it so happens that, you know, like they say, everything happens for a reason. You gotta be present, right? So I was present in that moment, and I read Humans of New York. You know how they do interviews. They're well known for interviewing local New York City, just everyone, everyday life. And this kid was like, they asked him about his summer or his goals. And he's like, you know, my goal was to cross all the bridges in New York. And I was like, how cute is that? Like, you know, like it made me see the city completely different, like give myself like a motivation. So like it was refreshing to hear someone say, you know what, I'm gonna see all the bridges. Like that's my goal for the summer. And it was like, he was a little kid. I was like, okay, check you out. So it kind of like it gave me this motivation to see the city differently from like going to all these other places. Like how can I see my own backyard with new eyes? Like I've lived here all my life. Like what, you know, what else is there? And once I started seeing it intentionally, I was like, I love creating content. Why don't I just give myself a project where I'll sort out the rest of my life here. It kind of took off like that. So like I started sharing things to do, like, hey, you know, these are the suggestions for like downtown or uptown, like restaurants, like little things that were happening, but more in a seasonal manner, like in a everyday, like this month is, you know, all these fun things are happening, like in the summer now, like you can go to a city, but if you can find out what's going on that month, I feel like that's more helpful. And I feel like that was my angle. Like, how can I be of service here while I do everything else? You know, like while I'm experiencing my city is fun, but what can I give back? So I just feel like a organized list is always really helpful for people to plan, and not just visitors. It's also like people that live here. So I was also encouraging people that actually say they don't really go out, like they don't really go to like the Statue of Liberty, and they lived here the whole lives. And I'm like, why not? You're here. It's great. Get out and do it. Like, why not? Just seeing your city with new eyes motivated me.
That's amazing because you were so in tune at that moment where you heard that this person saying, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to cross these bridges. You said, let me look at the city in a whole new lens.
Yes.
And this is literally your job. And this is very exciting.
Yes.
Like you have a really cool, like this is a really cool thing to do, to go out and explore and to invite, because essentially as a guide, you are inviting other people.
Yeah.
And sharing like what is there to do in New York City, you know. And you're right, you know, a lot of New Yorkers, we live here, and some of us, you know, don't go out and explore our own city because we're from here.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like they take it for granted, which just kind of happens. It's not no one's, you know, but yeah, you have to see it through new lens and
yeah.
be completely mind blown, like everything that you can do or find incredible deals and free stuff, and every day is different. It's exciting. Just your life just gets exciting when you see it that way.
No, yeah, it's an adventure for sure. I want to say when I was younger, I want to say in my teen years, high school, this is when I really started to explore the city, because this is when my mother finally let me explore when I was 16, because my friends were going. So we were as a group, you know, she felt like it was safer, but it was definitely like something like my friend was always like, you know, she said, hey, you know, we live here, but we haven't seen everything. So yeah. I think that that's really cool. So what are your top 3 must-do summer experiences in New York City for first timers?
So I wrote these down because you can do so much every day, but for summer specifically, I feel like I wanted to give a balance of like experiences and like all ages, like it's all ages friendly. So it could be family, you know, friends, whatever, you know, anyone can do it. So the first one is for the first timers in New York City, I think checking out Central Park, I feel like that's crucial. That's like a New York moment, especially in the summer. You can do a little picnic or you could walk down the Bow Bridge. It's just a landmark that you just have to go see. Plus, you could do the rowboats. So you could take a little rowboats, like $40. You spend an hour there or two. You get to have that whole experience. And I feel like it's so iconic. You cannot just not go to Central Park. So in the summer, it just fits. And it's warm and you could walk around and you could rent bikes. You could do so much in Central Park. The other thing is an observatory. From all the ones that I was thinking, I wanted to suggest a summit at one Vanderbilt, because not only you got an observatory, you got an experience. It's immersive. It's all ages. You could bring your family, your kids, your friends, anyone. And not only that, you can also get to see all the greatest landmarks all around New York. And there's also like a rooftop bar. So you could get a little cocktail, sit down, enjoy the view, and have a whole day if you want. And the last one is taking a cruise around New York City. I feel like that's the most like easy way, easy breezy in the summer. You're outside, it's nice and sunny, and you could see the whole city within an hour. You could see all the landmarks in one place, and you don't have to walk around. I feel like that's the easiest way to kind of explore in the summer because it's so hot out, and you get like the best of all worlds, basically. So that was Central Park, the Summit, and New York City cruise.
Check, check,
Those,
check.
yes.
Yes. I love those. Central Park is actually my backyard. I'm in Manhattan. Was happy to celebrate my daughter's first birthday last year there. It was first trip
Awesome.
around the sun. Yes. And you highlighted a lot of nice parts of Central Park. Needless to say, is definitely something I encourage people, New Yorkers or from out of New York, check it out. And who are able to spend that time with is also, add on.
Absolutely. And you have the pond, you have views. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Central Park is also my favorite place to visit, just because for anybody that's listening and likes that more chill vibe, Central Park is really great, as you said, for picnics, just to be in, the city that never sleeps, and you get to be in an area zone that's more relaxing and be with family and all of that. One of my favorite places is, have you ever gone to Belvedere Castle in Central
Oh
Park?
yeah. Yeah. Not inside, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Definitely a good addition. It looks like a postcard,
Yes.
So definitely like a photo moment. You definitely want to see it in person for sure.
Yes. And then the last question, what are some areas in the city that I guess you can say are free for anybody that might be on a budget?
Lots and lots. There's so much going on. Currently, Lincoln Center is having a summer for the city, so they actually do silent discos and performances right in Lincoln Center. You could go there for free. They have their schedule. It's incredible. There's also movie nights happening as well, and like all five boroughs. At Bryant Park, they're hosting movie nights. So imagine you could just take your picnic, just watch a movie. That's a whole experience right there. And they have them in different boroughs. So, if you can make it to Manhattan, you could go to Queens, you could go to Brooklyn. Just there's always something for everyone. So that's exciting. And then there's also like free beaches, and like you just lay out like anywhere. Like there's a whole Gansevoort beach next to the Little Island. You could go to Little Island as well. They have performances there. And if you want to keep going up, there's like Pier 57, also free to just hang out, like endless. You can always bike ride down the highway. Like that's incredible. So much. There's always art somewhere. Like Nomad, they're hosting like outdoor concerts. Actually, Nomad is like Flatiron District right there. So they're hosting outdoor performances as well. I mean, I can go on, but that's all my pages. I want to keep it short, but I feel like there's so much.
There is so much, and hopefully, we're also gonna obviously tag you on all of this, so all the listings will be available for our listeners. But you mentioned the silent disco. I have yet to do that. I would love to.
Yeah.
And there was another one you mentioned, the beaches.
Yes.
The one before that. Little Island. Yes, I have yet to check that out, and I forget that it exists. Thanks for reminding me.
It's a floating island. Imagine that. And the architecture is beautiful. You could spend as much time as you want. There's an amphitheater. It's just everything in one. It's free to roam around. I also wanted to mention coming soon, it's the US Open. They have Fan Week. That's free. So you could just go in and check out like some games. I went last year. It was really fun. You just walk around. I mean, the drinks and food are not free, but the experience is free where you have to pay to go see matches. So that's a great option. Also family friendly.
That one is really fun to go to. A lot of matches going on at once too. So you kind of figure what you want to do, and the food courts there are really good. For those wondering, that's actually in Queens.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Mets Willets, right by the Mets station. Mets Stadium, Citi Field.
Asher Levy, is it? Asher
Yes.
Levy? The stadium? Yes.
Yeah, by the Unisphere.
I remember when like movie night became a thing many years ago, but I love that they offer it all throughout all the boroughs.
Yeah.
Because that's, in all fairness, the right thing to do. So that's really good. And that's something people can do literally all summer long. And the listings, they have some really good movies on there. And you could bring your own snacks and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like a nice little classic. Why not? So I feel like those experiences you don't get to see every day.
No.
And you can do it at least once in the summer or twice. That's, it's an option. Like
And get there early because they get crowded.
Great tip, for sure.
Well, thank you for giving us insights on free things to do in the city throughout all the boroughs. Now we're going to move it along to a little bit of food and drinks and culture because I know I always have an appetite. I love trying, new cocktails, mocktails, and
Yeah.
food. I'm definitely a foodie. And I know a lot of people are. So, what are the best spots for? I know you mentioned summer picnic, but how about outdoor like dining in the city?
Okay, so there's a lot of festivals that are happening, but if you want to have like a proper sit down dinner or just like waterfront, I would recommend the Seaport is one of them, and also Time Out Market in Brooklyn Bridge Park. It's like you got the best of everything there. So the Seaport, you got the waterfront views, you have a lot of options, and it's very historic. You could walk around the cobblestones and just make it a day. There's a theater, there's shopping, there's everything down there. And I think it's beautiful. It's really, charming. And then there's also the Time Out Market, not to call them out, but they have the best like experience. You have a rooftop. Sometimes they do like free salsa depending on the day. And they have a free rooftop so you could hang out there and eat and drink and just have a great time. But then you can also walk down Brooklyn Bridge Park. There's a little beach, Pebble Beach. You could hang out there. There's a carousel for the kids. And just being in Brooklyn, I feel like the energy is so cool just to be outdoors. It's very inviting, I feel, as far as food and drinks. So
I definitely have to make my way out to the Time Out Market. I have heard great things about it. That's going to be on the list.
for sure. Great restaurants too.
Yes, and food is one thing, but I also have a sweet tooth, and I was wondering any go-to spots for like summer cooling, like treats, ice cream, cocktails, frozen drinks.
Yeah, so I don't have a sweet tooth, but I do check them out here and there. I do go to like the ice cream shops like Ample Hills or like Van Leeuwen, all in the area, incredible ice creams. But I feel like for cocktails, like to be outside, I would say like Watermark has really good cocktails. They have the little pouches and it feels like you're at a beach party outdoors. So I feel like that's pretty cool.
Watermark, is that a place?
Yeah, so it's Watermark right on Pier 15. Yeah, Pier
Oh,
15 on at the Seaport. And
wow.
right and they're seasonal. So right now it's a beach theme. So you feel like you're outside in your own little backyard. It's fun. Great drinks there.
I'm gonna make it there too.
And then some people love this. Any food trucks or pop-up markets worth chasing down this season?
Yeah, so many. We have the classic Smorgasburg, and they used to be, from what I remember, it was like one location. Now they spread out. Now they're like in World Trade Center on Fridays, Saturdays in Williamsburg, Sundays somewhere else, like in Prospect Park. So that's great. You could check them out pretty much all weekend in different locations. And then there's the Uptown Night Market. So it's more like a Latin vibe coming up. So that's pretty fun. There's also Japan Fest. They do it also on the weekend. So you get a different kind of vibe as far as food. I've had a really good time eating there before. So Japan
Where's
Fest is
that one at?
fun. So they change locations. Sometimes they're like
Oh.
downtown, midtown. Depends on the day. So depends on the day and their schedule. You have to kind of follow them around. And then, of course, there's the One Bite Pizza that's coming up. It's a festival. It's a little later, like in September, but it's always good to kind of plan because the tickets do go fast. So it's 40 pizza shops all under one roof, but it's really outdoors. It's going to be at Randall's Island. That's exciting. There's also a Latin food festival. Clearly, I like my Latin food as a Dominican girly here.
Of course.
So that's just a few of the ones that I know that I kind of put together, but there's always something popping up.
Gisela, we have a lot of places to check out.
Yes. Presente team is on the
Present
way.
everywhere this summer.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for sharing with our listeners areas to hang out in the city this summer, what's happening. And it's very exciting. So if anybody, wants to check out any of these places, make sure you, be in touch.
Marlene, thank you for sharing all the cool places that we can submerge ourselves into this summer. I'm going to take up a few of those that I can do with my family. We just got back from vacation, so a staycation is definitely in the works. I wanted to ask you, what is the best way for our listeners to be in contact with you?
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm mostly on Instagram, but I'm also on TikTok. So my handle is at New York City Guide. So basically at New York City .guide on Instagram and then at New York City Guide on TikTok, which is lots of fun there too. It's a little more casual on TikTok, but Instagram is where I'm mostly at. So yeah, they can see the full list. They can see more things to do, and the summer's here, and it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Un verano en Nueva York.
Yes,
Yes.
Make the best of it, everyone.
it
Mhm.
really is.
I'm sure there's things that you can do, and don't wait on anyone to do it. Just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get out
Oh,
and do it.
yes.
And if
Don't
if
wait on
anybody wants
nobody.
suggestions, that just DM me. I'm more than welcoming to, if anybody wants like specific suggestions, because there's only so much I could cover tonight with you guys, and then also on my page, if you need some individual like one-on-one, I'm more than happy to help.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Marlene, the creator of New York City Guy, and today with the Presente podcast.
Hey, want to stay up to date with the latest episodes and exclusive interviews? Subscribe now and never miss a moment of the conversation.
Siri, play Empire State of Mind by Alicia Keys. New York City is a whole mood, as is the summer season. Explore, eat, and relish in those East Coast vibes. Whether that takes you to the major 5 boroughs, around the coastal home aesthetics, or upstate, there's so much to fill your days here in Concrete Jungle. Also, no matter what your plans are this summer, whether they be local or abroad, romanticize her energy. Become a wildflower. Look at the stars, eat agua dulce, and be in tune with the melody only summer creates.
Y cuando puedas, debes tirar más fotos.
Yes, when that camera go pop, 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 pop.